Let me sneeze.
All right, guys, this is Chris Wilmuth, and I'm here with my partner Sean King, and you're watching another episode of the Pooling Around Show. Today, we're honored to have Mr. Alex Olinger with us. How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Man, appreciate you joining us.
Yeah,
Um,
glad
like I
to.
was telling you, these videos are designed to one for people to get to know you as a person and a pool player. Um, and then Sean, he jumps off on tangents and's got his own questions that he asks. So, but like I said, it's meant to be fun and enjoyable, and we'll jump right into it. So, tell us a little bit about growing up.
So I grew up in a small town called New Lebanon. Like my graduating class had 86 people in it. There wasn't much to do in the town. We had a little pool hall. My neighbor had a pool table, and my mom was a bartender at the local bar, so I would go up there after school before anybody was in there and play pool. So wasn't really much to do in town other than play pool. But yeah, it was just a small little town. Wasn't much going on. Nothing exciting.
Did you play any sports in school?
Did I play any sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in elementary and middle school, I played baseball and soccer.
Okay. So by the time you were in high school, you were a full blown pool player, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, those of you who don't know, Alex Ellinger is a pool room owner and owns a place called the Action Palace, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But if you don't know his skill level or his achievements, I think he's won like just about every tournament there is, especially on a bar table. Um, he's just tough for anybody to beat him. And now he's moved on into the business of pool. So I want you guys to hear a little bit about the area he grew up in. You don't live in New Lebanon now, you live in where?
So I live in Huber Heights. It's a suburb. Well, I live in Kettering, but my pool room's in Huber Heights, which is a suburb of Dayton, Ohio. So
Okay.
I'm closer to the city now versus about 30 minutes from Dayton is where I grew up.
Okay. So you're in high school, you're a pool player. What was your first events or road trips or things that you did?
Uh, so I started playing at 9 with a real good player from around here named Ryan Stone. Like we went to school together and we started playing together. So we joined the junior nationals or the VNEA juniors when we were, I think 12 or 13. I don't remember exactly. So we put a team together for that. We would travel. It was always in like Sioux City, Iowa, Mankato, Minnesota, somewhere like that. And we had a lot of success in that. So that's probably my first big wins. Um, we won it several times. We got first, second, we got third one year, and probably had about 7 or 8 years we got first or second every time. Um, so that was probably my first success, playing junior nationals.
Wow. Um, so Ryan Stone, right? Left-handed player.
Mm-hmm.
He's a monster. How far does he live from you?
10 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and we had
Um,
a we had another player on our team named Rocky Phipps. He used to live around here. He lives in Vegas now, but he's a good player too. We were a pretty monstrous team for that junior event.
okay. Chris, what do you got?
So, a few years ago, you did that little series, the was it the Hustler or American Hustler that was on YouTube with Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and y'all played it at Chris's Billiards, where
Hmm.
parts of the Color of Money was. So how good was he on a 9 foot table?
I mean, never missed a ball. His patterns were not very good. Like I mean, as far, but I mean, in all fairness to him, though, that like it was the worst table in the place. Like Chris's is an amazing pool room with a bunch of great tables. But so basically, like I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
It's separated into like 3 rooms. So you come in the main room, there's real nice tables, some 3 cushion tables. Then there's like a side tournament room, and then there's this real big back room where they have all the 7 foot diamonds. But there's also all the like very worst tables you can imagine in this room where people just bring their own beer. I mean, there's beer spilled on everything. Like it's just this little section basically for people that don't really play pool that want to come drink and whatever because they don't sell alcohol there. So, we're in there for that or I'm in there for a bar table tournament they had. And there's a few other good players like Tyler Steyer, Sergio Rivas, I mean, there were some players in there. And we'd heard about this show being filmed and that they were going to come around. He was supposed to play Nick Varner in there. So I didn't pay much attention to it. And so they come in there and they asked if anybody wanted to play Ronnie and race to 5 for $50. They didn't know anybody from Adam. So I said, yeah, I'll play. So I had him down like 3 or 4 to 1 or something. And the commentators asked all kinds of questions. He's like, what do you do for a living? Like, you see it, I play pool. That's what I do. And so we had a bunch of fun with that. He just kept asking questions, and I got a lot of noise from my one comment because they asked, if I had any advice for Ronnie playing pool in America, and I told him to stick to snooker. So I've got a lot of comments about that over the years, but I don't know. Like Sean's been around me quite a bit. I'm kind of sarcastic, and just it's just my sense of humor. It's don't mean nothing by it.
But take it or leave
Yeah.
it.
I think that carries over into your pool game and how you handle pressure and stuff. You're always you're always, smiling, having a good time. And I think that really helps your pool game. I mean,
Well,
you
I
definitely
agree.
you handle pressure well. I know that.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
met
think.
you. The first time I met you was you come to Wichita Falls and played in the Junior Norris tournament,
Mhm.
and then I met you again. You went to Newkirk where they had at that casino, Oklahoma, where they had that 10,000 added or whatever it was. And
Oh yeah.
I watched you play Jeff Melton and watched Jeff Melton dog a easy 7 ball on you
Oh man.
for you, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have lost that match for sure. Yeah, he felt the pressure on that one, I guess.
Yeah. It's amazing how you remember all those matches.
Oh yeah.
And you remember the ones that you lose more than the ones that you win, or I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember a lot of them. I remember the significant ones where people, you know, in a situation like that with Melton, because I mean that was a huge match. The winner of that played for King of the Hill, and yeah, I mean he just had a simple 7, and I don't even think there was an 8 on the table. I think it was just a 7 and the 9, and he just, I don't know,
Yeah.
pressure just got to him.
Yep. He just undercut it. I
The
remember.
same thing happened to me one year at the Junior Norris out there. What was that guy's name? Tony something. But to get to the finals, I mean, missed just a straight in 7 ball. I mean, it was a stop shot. He did, you know, just it's just how it is. It happens to everybody, but it's just crazy.
Redheaded guy,
I believe so.
Tony Sulcer.
So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he let me off the hook one time too to get to the finals. I don't know. I think that I think that might have been the year I lost to Chase Rudder, and then I beat him the next year in the finals. I'm not sure. But I think that
Well,
was.
let's talk a little bit about some of your action matches in the past. I got a question. What is the biggest, I guess, score or most money you've won playing pool in a day?
Um
It might have took 2 days, but in one session.
it would either be the the White Diamonds tournament would have been like the biggest win. Of course, you know, there's other people involved in that, so I didn't really get every dollar of it. You know, if I would have had all myself in the Calcutta and all that, that would have been my biggest score. But otherwise, it's probably the Shane Winters match in Wichita. It's played there at Club Billiards.
Tell us about that match.
It was a pretty crazy match. It was race to 25, best 2 out of 3 sets. I think we had maybe 40, 44, 48,000 in the middle. So the first day I win somewhere around like 25, 17, 25, 18. I don't remember the exact numbers. And then the second day he coming on fire and he wins like 25, 14. And he was kind of doing some funny stuff with the rack, which I caught him kind of in the middle of the set, but you know, he still played good and everything. So when we got to the third set, you know, everything was on the square. So that set come down to end up being 25-23 for all the money.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember exactly the layout at the end because it was 24-23 and he had a one of my balls and his balls kind of like froze together and he had to kind of like spin it in the side and he just caught it real bad and just it looked real bad because he missed it, you know, far and I ended up getting out for the money. But it was a pretty crazy set. I think he'd flew in the night before the match too. I'd been there for like a week. He flew in the night before, and I think like they lost his luggage, and like I think he had all kinds of issues coming into the match too. So the first day, I don't think his mind was in it the right way. But it was. I mean, we battled him so many times because we lived so close to each other. But that was a good one.
Yeah, he's no easy opponent at all.
No.
And you guys are playing 8-ball, right? Or
Hmm.
and that is if it's not your best game, it's one of your best games. I think they just probably don't let you play 8-ball tournaments in your town. You're just too good at it.
The way pool is these days, don't let you play anything, you know, unless
Yeah.
it's, you know, a major event. But yeah, it's my favorite game, you know, eight
It is.
ball. Yeah, I enjoy it. You know, nine ball may be my best game because, you know, I have a really consistent break in that, but who doesn't really? You know, 8 ball, I enjoyed the thought process of it, patterns, and you know, it's my favorite game for sure on a 7-footer. I think it's a terrible game on the 9-footer though.
Well, thanks for telling us the story on with Shane and that match. Tell us about White Diamonds before we move on, because that's a big tournament to win. Most people have heard of it, but there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah, it's in Louisiana, and man, I had a tough road through it too. I played I played Chip Compton, beat him. I beat Skyler. I beat Josh Roberts. I beat Billy twice. I beat Jamie Barracks for the hill in that tournament. Like I didn't have one easy match. I mean, it's only a race to 7 on Bally's alternate break, so I mean it's a huge crapshoot, but the money is enormous in it. You know, I I really enjoyed the tournament, but um, I went back the next time. I went for so much in the Calcutta. It's like it's almost impossible to go anymore. So like I went, you know, the first time I went, I think I went for like 2,500 in the Calcutta, and you know, we win. I can't remember what it was, 30-ish thousand. But the next time I go, it's like the week after the U.S. Open. So Kevin Chang had just won the U.S. Open. All right. So the first pick, Alex Pegulayan goes for 7,000. The second pick, I go for 7,000. Then Kevin Chang, who just won the U.S. Open, goes for 6,800. I said, yeah, this seems right. You know, I mean, like, I mean, I can compete with any of them guys on a bar table, especially at Valley, but there's 30 other guys too that can, play a perfect set on a Valley race to 7. So it's just, I mean, the money's just, it's just too tough for, you know, to pay 7,000 to win 28 in a crapshoot like that.
Yeah, and you got to play under pressure, and you got to get some rolls. But like you said, in a race to 7, even against Skyler, Billy, Josh Roberts, Chip, Jamie Barracks, yeah, you're gonna have to play great too behind it. So, congratulations on that. I know it was quite a bit of time ago. Can you
Yeah.
fast forward us to some more recent action or tournaments?
I've not played in a whole lot lately. Just dealing with the pool room and everything. I get out occasionally. Um, I've won a few regional events over like the last year. Um, there was a big event that they had at Michael's in Cincinnati. Um, I can't remember what it was, a Midwest something, but can't remember the name of it. But it was a big production, like a big deal event, 10,000 added. A lot of good players, Roberto and all them guys were there. I ended up getting second to Shane Wolford. Um, but other than that, I've just won some like regional type events and things like that. I haven't really been traveling like I once was. I'd like to get back to it eventually. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to have back surgery probably in a month or two. Got a disc issue, herniated disc, so it's kind of preventing me from really playing right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, good. I hope that goes well. I know if you come around here and play in a tournament, I'm gonna try to buy you in the
All right.
auction. That's one thing
Yeah.
I've learned. Buy Alex.
You can't beat them by them, huh?
Hey, I'm not.
Hey,
I
Sean's
beat
given
him
me some
one.
runs. He's beat
I
me a
beat
few
him
times.
one set. Now here's the caveat. I beat him one set. Hill. I think I shit in the 9. I'm not even sure, but it was a fluke. But he still came back and double dipped somebody to win the tournament anyway. So he still won the tournament. But I did get him one set, and I'm proud of that. Even though I'm pretty sure I fluked in the last ball or something.
I
Something
remember. I
weird.
remember the tournament, everything, but I don't remember how you won in the end.
So
It was a fluke.
other than tournaments, did you spend much time on the road?
I'm sorry.
Other than tournaments, did you spend much time on the road? I mean, gambling and stuff.
I was never like just go out on the road to gamble type player. You know, I would just go from tournament to tournament if there was action somewhere. You know, I would. I did spend some time in like the Dallas Fort Worth area, gambling and stuff. CJ was out there, and man, I'm blank on the guy's name. Greg Sandifer, I think is his
Yeah,
name.
that's it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was out there. He was always good action. There was always a few players out there that gave me a little action. I had a stake horse that spent some time around there and had business, so I would go hang out down there and just go play some little tournaments and just get in action a little bit. But me and Greg battled out quite a lot. I gave him some pretty crazy stuff on that bar table, and we went back and forth. I think I gave him the 7-8 in the breaks on a bar table, which is insane because he's a good player. But I was just down there looking to play and just trying to outrun something just because bored. And man, we went back and forth. I'm amazed that I could even break even at that game, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you'd like it now. He's gotten a lot better.
No, I mean he was a good player then. Like I shouldn't have been able to. Like I said, I didn't think it was a good game. I was just there wasn't nobody else that would really give me action there, so that's what I played. But
Wow.
yeah, it's tough.
So, can we just go right into the Action Palace? Tell us about your setup, how many tables, leagues, regulars. Tell us what's going on in there.
Okay, yeah, I have 8 7-foot predators. I have 3 9-foot predators, 3 9-foot diamonds, and I'm expanding into adding on to the end unit. So I'm in a plaza. There's one unit to my right that's still left that I have, and it should be open within about 2 weeks. And I'll have uh, 2 predator 3 cushion tables, billiard tables, and by the end of the year I'll have a predator snooker table, 10 foot in there. Um, I u-
Wow.
I used to have a billiard table at a Gabriel in my place, um, but when I was doing some construction stuff in there, expanding on because I only had 4 9-footers in the beginning. When I was expanding on, I took it out and ordered the Predator one, so that got me to 6 9-footers right now. And then until that room gets open, then I'll have the billiard tables in there. But yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it's doing well. Um, we have a lot of BCA and VNA or Valley leagues in there. Like APA and stuff's not very big in my area. It's relatively new, so it may or may not be there in the future. But we have about 20 league teams in a week, and I also run a in-house one pocket league that does very well. And people are really enjoying that. It's just a singles league, so you don't have day you play. You have to schedule your match with your opponent that week, and they play a race at 3, and that's going over really well. People enjoy that. Um, yeah, so we have
What
those
a
tables.
night. Is it food? You got a kitchen and
We don't have food. That's something in the near future. Um,
okay.
just working on getting the pool room the way I want it before I get food in there. It is something I need, but I don't have it yet.
Drinks?
Yeah, I have a full bar, so I have liquor, beer. I have snacks and things, obviously, candy bars and Slim Jims and chips and all that stuff, but I don't have, a kitchen. But yeah, I have full bar, liquor, beer, everything. I have Keno, the Ohio Lottery and all that stuff in there. Um, yeah, I think that's about
Wow.
it.
So
That
how
sounds
long
like
have you
a
had the place?
Uh, well, I started about 3 years ago, but I opened last February. So it's coming up on 2 years I've been open.
now, did
So
you take it over from someone else or did you start it all brand new?
started all brand new. It was the place I went into was a wreck. I had to gut it down to the studs completely and started everything brand new. So it's everything in there is new. It's nothing left from the old place.
I'm glad you're doing well, because you really are betting on yourself big. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just to start from nothing and then to be successful with that many players coming in each week, and that's incredible, really. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any big events coming up?
I have nothing scheduled right now, but there will be something probably probably right after Derby. That's probably when I'll do my next big event. Um, but yeah, I don't have anything major scheduled at the moment. I
Me and
did
Sean, me and Sean might want to come up there and do something.
yeah, there you go.
Teach me how to play three cushion, and I don't know if I've played on a predator table. I've seen them on TV. I
Yeah,
guess they
I
play. They How do they play compared to a diamond in relationship?
I don't know. I haven't played on one yet. We don't have it in yet. So um
Oh no, I don't mean the three cushion table.
oh
I don't even know how to play three cushion really, but um I'm talking about the predator 9 foots versus the diamond 9 foot.
Oh, they're pretty close, other than you kind of have to shoot it, on a diamond, you shoot everything pro side, and into the pockets, do you know what I mean by pro side? So away from the rail, the pocket part away from the rail you're shooting down. So in this, you kind of play it into the rail, and so they go in, if that makes sense. So it's different. I mean, they're great tables. Don't get me wrong. But it's yeah. So just like everything you're used to, if you play on a diamond, you play it to not catch the rail going in, and then on a predator, you play it catch to catch the rail on the way in.
So a little easier
So
to cheat, the pocket.
yeah, but they're deceptive too, the way they are. So you know if you're if you hit them just with a good stroke, they'll go in. But if you try to jam them, it'll spit them right back out. So but they're great tables. They play tough. They roll good. I love everything about them. I'm
How about those lights too?
oh yeah, the Predator lights.
That changes everything. And then there's Predator knockoff lights or whatever you want to call them, LED lights, but that changes everything for me when I can just see everything so bright.
Oh yeah, it's insanely bright. It's almost too bright. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fine. It's great, but when you're used to just like a normal light, then you get on that thing, it's like staring at the sun for a second. But you really like it once you get used to it.
Yeah. Okay, talk to us a little bit about your fiance, and I'm sure she loves you being off the tournament trail and at home more. Does she play or come up there?
Yeah, yeah, she's a player herself. She'd be like an APA 5 or so. Like so
Okay.
she can play a little bit. Her name's Carly Hart. Yeah, I mean she does she works at a local credit union around here. She's some sort of loan officer. I don't know her exact title or whatever. But yeah, she enjoys playing. She enjoys me being around. Um yeah,
I
I
bet
mean,
that helps a lot.
hmm yeah, it's
How did you meet her?
we met playing pool. Actually, she's from Ohio. She lived in the northern part of Ohio, Youngstown, which is about 3.5 hours from here. But we actually met through a friend in Vegas for when we were out there for a pool tournament. We were out there for the VNEA tournament that they have every summer, and we met out there and just started talking. Here we are. We've been together over 5 years now.
Yeah, you guys have a date set?
We don't right now. We we did for last December, but unfortunately in June we lost our house to a fire, which delayed our wedding. So at this point we don't have a new date set.
Wow. Well, how have you recovered from the house fire?
Yeah, yeah. I mean we lost a lot of possessions and everything. We lost pretty much everything. We've recovered from that. We lost two dogs, unfortunately, in that. So yeah, we didn't recover from that one. But
I'm sure.
other than that, yeah, it's been all right. But yeah, that's what's
You are
delayed
a
the
dog.
wedding.
You are
Mhm.
a dog lover. You are a dog lover. Didn't you say you had like 7 dogs?
Yeah, it's partially because of that. So when we had the fire, we had four dogs at the time. We had three huskies and our pit bull, and so the girl husky was pregnant during when all this happened, and she went into labor during the fire. So she was in like a back room because we had her separated from the boy dogs. So when the fire happened, the pit bull went to the back door to try to find a way out, and the two boys went to try to get the girl dog from that was in a back room. So they got smoke inhalation. We lost them. The pit bull survived, and then the girl husky had the babies during the fire. So like the firemen carried her out with a puppy, and then she had another one in the front yard, and then she had another, like the other three later on at the hospital. So through all that and everything going on, so we had them two dogs and the five puppies, and we just never got rid of the puppies. We just
Wow.
ended up keeping them all.
Huskies and a pit bull, like what's your food bill a month for those guys? It's
Oh, you
gotta
don't even
be
want to know.
crazy.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know. Yeah,
For real.
we go through 50 or 60 pounds of food a week.
Yeah. And those,
Yeah. And
how big is a husky?
Uh, the boys are about 60-ish pounds, and the girls are about like 45-ish.
Okay. Okay. Well, man, you've been through quite a bit here this last year.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Okay, I gotta bring up Billy Thorpe because I know you two were always running mates. When I saw you at a tournament, saw him at a tournament. Now he's a little younger than you. Is that true?
Yeah, he's about 10 years younger than me.
10 year. Okay, you just look so young. Um, what was that like? Running around with him. I'm sure at one time you were beating him, and I feel like now he's probably ahead of you.
Oh, for
How
sure.
did that go? How did that dynamic work? It reminds me of Joey and Chip, is what it reminds
Yeah.
me of.
Yeah, so I mean he was only, he was a real little kid when he started coming to the pool room around here. Um, so I got to know him and his parents really well. And so when he was about 13, he wanted to start going out to tournaments and stuff, and his parents trusted me, obviously. And so me and him would practice all the time together, but he started going on the road with me a little bit. And yeah, at that time, it wasn't even close. I would torture him playing. Like it wasn't, but you could tell from a very young age that, he had a gift that he was going to be something special, you know. You don't see that in everybody. I mean, you can see talent, but I don't know if that makes sense, but you can just see it sometimes that somebody has a unique talent and they could really be something. So he started going on the road with me, and it was interesting. We had a lot of fun. Joked around and stuff, and he just kept getting better and better so fast. He's like um he's like a savant when it comes to just watching somebody do something and mimicking it. Like you can't like sit here and verbally teach him anything, but if you show him something, he just absorbs it. Like he's always been a player like that. So he just got better so fast. And then, obviously got to a point where, you know, he had he got past me and, you know, went up to the Mosconi Cup level and all that stuff. And I think it's awesome. You know, I hope he reaches the highest heights he can.
I feel like you're a big part of that, big time.
I tried. I always try to help the younger players around here and everything. And I want to see the game continue to succeed. And it's sad when you see like all the pool rooms closing around the country. I mean, other ones are opening up too, but it just feels like there was so many more pool rooms 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing it. It's a big risk, uh,
Hmm.
you know, and
Tough
you really
business.
got to know what you're doing, and then you gotta have luck too. You gotta have things go your way.
Exactly.
So, all right, we'll move past Billy, because that could go on for a while. Here's what I remember about you two in the pool room. If you two were in the pool room, there was action. You guys were not there to hang out. You were playing the whole time. You were playing somebody. It didn't
Hmm.
matter how you had to match up. You guys always got the guys down on the table to play. You want to talk about that a little bit about how you were so successful at actually getting in a game?
I think Billy had a lot to do with that more so than me. Like, I always wanted to be in action too, but Billy, even still, Billy, whenever you walk in the forum, he's in a game somehow. It was just because, you know, we weren't necessarily afraid to get in tough. You know, that's what so many people, you know, call themselves gamblers or whatever, but they only gamble when they have a huge edge. That's not gambling. You know, that's just being a lock artist, you know. So like we weren't afraid to get in there super tough, even maybe with a little bit the worst of it and play. And you know, him especially, you know, I mean, I was a smart gambler, but I would gamble, you know, but Billy, he would just get in there and try to outrun it, and he did. He just kept outrunning it until he wasn't, you know, he wasn't gambling anymore. He was just the favorite. You know, him and Danny Smith, I watched them battle so many times, playing Banks by the Rail or One Pocket or whatever. You know, it didn't matter what you wanted to play. Somehow, him or me or one of us was going to end up in a game.
All right. Well, who started the race to 3 for 1,000 or race to 3 for something crazy? Who started that? Was that him, or were you doing that too?
Yeah, no, that was all him. That that was him with he started that with all them Filipinos because he wanted to get down with them, but he knew if they've raced you know, a long race, he's probably an underdog. But he just felt like for the pressure, he was going to play better, so he just made him play a race to 3 for the money. You know, really, really pretty brilliant.
Think about it. I mean, in gambling, if you get a guy stuck 1,000, or if he's got you stuck 1,000, you're probably going to play all night. It may not be always a race to 3, but when people started off with this, race to 17 or race to 21 for the initial bet, that's done in maybe 10 minutes. Like you're on the second set and somebody's stuck. I think it's the
Right.
strongest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's brilliant, you know, because like I said, if he plays them long races, you know, they're going to get comfortable and they're probably going to beat him, you know, more sets than he wins. He's going to win sets, obviously, but yeah, in race 3, he plays good on the pressure, loves it, you know, and if you get him stuck, you can win, you know, you can win 5 sets in an hour versus, you know, like you said, just playing one race to 17 is going to take a couple hours or multiple hours.
Everyone's going to stop watching at
Yeah.
some point in that set or go eat lunch. And
Hmm.
I just love it. It's like you're starting out on the hill, or the other guy, basically.
All right.
Yeah, a race to 3.
Uh,
Nobody's pacing themselves.
No,
no,
no, there's
no.
no room to make mistakes.
Um, yeah, you can't be a nit and make any money. You guys were like the anti-nits.
Mhm.
Um, can we talk about let's talk about which tournaments you would still go to. I know you got a back surgery coming up, but what calendar would you make for yourself if you could say six or more tournaments a year? What would they be?
I don't really know at this point. You know,
Is the Derby on your
venture
list?
Derby generally is. I think it's a little less exciting nowadays. You know, it's more there's more people putting their money in the casino than there is in the action room and stuff. I really enjoy playing the tournaments there though. You know, I've been going there because it's only a little over 2 hours from where I live. So, you know, I've been going there since
Yeah.
I was a kid. And I remember it at the old Executive West, you know, where things were real crazy. You know, you'd see some crazy stuff there. But there was always action, everything. When it moved to the casino, you know, the action just gotten less and less each year. It's almost non-existent these days. And there's a little bit of action, but it's not much. So you know, because back then you had to make a decision. Either I'm gonna play the tournaments or gamble. You couldn't really do. I mean, you could do a little bit of both, but you weren't gonna win the tournaments if you spent all night gambling. It was one or the other. So if you were in a spot where you felt like you could get good action, you wouldn't worry about the tournaments. But now I think just more tournament focus than anything. So Derby would definitely be one. I'd like to get back and play like the US Open and stuff. I haven't played in several years. I haven't played since Matchrooms owned it. Um, there's some bar table tournaments, which some of my favorite bar table tournaments have died out, like Shooters Olathe. I don't believe they do that anymore, right?
No,
No.
Um, they stopped that one, and then there was a Midwest nine ball in Indianapolis that they did every year. And I don't think they did that this past year, and it's been running for 40 plus years as well.
the Brickyard or
Yeah, it used to be the
what's it called?
Brickyard. Now it's at a place called John Wayne's. But it's a big event around here. Um, like to get back to the
Uh,
Super Bears Expo.
Smoking Aces.
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Who?
my turn. I want to know who taught you how to play and where you learned uh, all your skills from. Who taught you, or what group of people showed you how to play?
So, I started at 9. I was playing, you know, there was a pool hall around town. I would go up there as much as possible, scrounge up a little bit of quarters and go up there and play as many games as I could. Um, and then my mom was a bartender at a local bar, so I'd go there and play after school. And then, so I was 9, so I was in 4th grade, and then that's where I met Ryan Stone. We actually met like in school, and
But
we
was
were
he a
actually
champion? Was he a champion then
no,
when
so
you
we're
met
the
him?
exact same age. We were in 4th grade, so
Okay.
we met each other and we kind of got to trash talking each other, because I had played all the time at that bar table, and he would go up to the pool hall with his dad, and it was kind of like I can beat you, you can, and he, everything. So we went and started playing together, and you know, rest is history on that. We played, we just never stopped playing. He got a pool table when we were about 12 or 13. And I mean, we must have played 16 hours a day or more every day for years. Like we just never, that's all we did.
Okay. So
Um,
that was where you became a pool player.
yeah.
Not just, yeah, I can play a little pool, but you were a
Oh
full
yeah.
blown pool player before you could
Yeah.
drive a car. You were
Huh. Oh
Before
yeah.
you could
Yeah.
drive a car. That's how you made your money, probably.
hmm Oh yeah. It was, we bugged all our parents and everybody we could to get us to every pool tournament in, in the Dayton area that, because, we just lived in that little town. So it was a 20-30 minute drive to get to any of the places in, actual Dayton to get to the tournaments. So it wasn't always the easiest to get somebody to take us and come pick us up at 1 in the morning, or, or, his Ryan's dad took us to a lot of tournaments and stayed there because he played a little bit. But man,
That was your job.
yeah, that's all we did.
Did you ever have a job outside of playing pool as a kid?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
What'd you do?
like when I was 15, I worked at like Arby's and stuff like that for a short time. Um, and when I was from 18 to 21, I kind of took a little bit of break from pool. I was a welder. I welded exhaust systems and stuff for about 3 years. And then yeah, I eventually quit that job, went back to, playing pool, and I was playing a lot of poker at that time too. I card games of my own and playing pool. So that's what I did for that time. But eventually the cards just had so many swings up and down, and pool was just so stable. Like I was making consistent money, maybe not like the highest scores of poker, but it was, sustainable. So that's where I went with it.
So what was
Would
your
you
first
consider
pool cue?
yourself? Go ahead.
What was your first pool cue?
My first pool cue was a Dufferin cue, just a plain looking house cue, Dufferin cue that my brother had, and I mowed 4 lawns to buy it off him for $20.
Yeah.
never forget that cue.
Would you consider yourself a professional gambler?
Um, to an extent, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I've just seen you in action so much. And you know, it could be just for some guy matching up a $20 or $50 game because you don't have anything to do that night or that day, and then seeing you get down with the best of them for, like you said, you know, $44,000 in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy the action. You know, I've got a little bit of action at my pool room too. Like before, when I was playing, I just I just stay playing people cheap all the time too. You know, it's good for them and good for me. It keeps me in stroke, and I give up huge spots. And been playing I played a lot of one pocket since I opened this place. That's what everybody wants to play. I guess it's just kind of a little bit more comfortable for lower players to match up with better players playing one pocket.
Hmm.
Um, so I just play it. I play a lot of locals, 10, 20 a game, just real cheap, just so they can play a lot of pool and see how the game's played, and keeps me in stroke. And every once in a while, I'll play a bigger set or so. But like I said, the
Well, the
last
reason they're playing you one pocket is because they don't want to watch you run out on them every shot. They get to shoot every other turn, you know, maybe not at their hole, but
right,
you know,
yeah, it's forced me to play more one pocket because I mean, I always played a little bit of one pocket, but it was never, never my game of choice. Um, so I played a little bit more of it now. Like I said, I haven't really played in the last 6 months, so I'm out of stroke and everything. But
so if someone comes to the Action Palace, they can get played. If not by you, Billy, or one of those guys.
oh
Is
yeah,
it,
I mean if they're willing to match up, if they're coming looking to steal, or they're in the wrong spot. But if somebody wants to come make a real legitimate game, definitely there's plenty of guys, and there's players below us that match up too. It's not just great players. There's some lower players that'll bet super high too.
and there's
They
some
just
some
have.
some stake horses or guys that just like to bet too that don't play.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but I mean, there's a couple of guys that probably in like the high 600 Fargo's area, or mid to high 600s, that have their own money, and they bet sky high. But
Wow.
you just gotta they've got to feel comfortable. They're not going to just play somebody off the street. They're going to send them to me or Billy or somebody like that. But
Yeah.
there is good action there.
Okay, Chris, you were talking
So
about pool cue.
no, I already got that one. So, who was your favorite player growing up?
Uh, Ralph Souquet.
Huh.
That was a guy I like to watch. He's not. He's just so simple. Like it seemed so boring, probably to most people watching him, but it was so perfect that it was boring. Like his cue ball was so perfect. He just never had to do anything flashy. It's always on the right side of the ball. I watched him. I'm pretty sure he broke around the set on Rodolfo Luat to win the Derby the one year. Like he I just love watching him. I mean, he's still a great player, but when I was a kid, it was just perfect. Like his pull was perfect. If you watched him play nine ball, he never got out of line. He never missed a ball, and never had to do anything because he was so perfect with his cue ball. So may not be the flashiest player. He ain't Efren where he's jacking up, spearing the ball in or something. But I appreciated the how good he played and how simple he made the game look.
You take him as your Scotch doubles partner in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't got to do
Uh,
nothing.
can you tell us maybe like a little bit of mental game tips for us and for our audience? Some breakthroughs that you've had about, it could be confidence, it could be the way you think about something, but not in the stroke or the choosing the right shots, but mental game, like confidence. What can you?
Yeah, so as far as all that goes, like I've read some good books on it. The Inner Game of Tennis is a real famous one. There's one called Zen Golf. I think they actually made a Zen pool, which I never read, but I read Zen Golf and just books like that, the psychology of sports, just things to develop the mental side of the game. Um, it's really it's really just something as far as for me, like I've never lacked confidence playing, but as I've got older, it's gotten less and less. When I was younger, you may go into a match and you have them start match jitters, you know what I mean? Like when you very first start the match, you just feel a little nervous, and then usually after a game or so, it goes away. Like just as I've gotten older, I don't think I have any of that anymore. I just play to play. I just convince myself that I'm just play your best, and it's gonna work out more than it's not, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if that really answers your question exactly. Um, but that's how I work on the mental side of things. I read them books and just developed as I went on.
Well, I know you got a lot of heart when it
Yeah,
comes
thank
to
you.
playing pool for sure. And I don't know much about your personal life, but sounds like you're doing well too. Not just one of these pool players where all they can do is play pool. You
All
can
right.
run a business and feed all those dogs and keep your fiance happy.
All right.
Okay, Chris, what else you got?
And that's all I've got for right now. I appreciate you joining us. I hope to get up there and come visit your pool room. Um,
Yeah.
and tell people the address so they know where to.
Yeah, so it's Action Palace Billiards. It's 5605 Old Troy Pike in Huber Heights, Ohio. It's 45429. It's I'm open every day from noon to midnight, um, noon to 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Um, and stay open all night if there's action.
There we go.
You hustlers out there,
Well,
y'all know where to go find action. Well, Alex, like I said,
well,
I appreciate you joining us. Look forward to coming up there, guys. If y'all enjoy content like this, please hit that subscribe button down there below. Give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment and let us know how we're doing. And we'll see y'all next time on the Pooling Around Show.
All right.
Y'all
Thanks
have a
for
good
having me.
evening.
thank you, Alex.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
You too.